Hello everyone, welcome to Flotsam. Today we're checking out an experimental build of the game that changes how you travel across the map in a pretty significant way. And if you want to try this, you can go into your Steam, right-click Flotsam, select Properties, go to Betas, and then select Experimental, and you will be able to try pretty much the latest available beta release for early access, the one we're playing right now. So we are gonna start a brand new game, guys. Trash Ton, guys, is gonna be our name. Well, as that is it, and the engine failure stopped our journey. Perhaps we should use this opportunity to expand the town and go explore. Who needs land? These endless blue waves? That's all we need, and the flooded world is our oyster. Let's polish the plastic into beautiful pearls. First, repair the engine. Start your adventure. So with the new release of the game here, with new update, instead of having an old like hearth place of your town, you know how something that looks a little bit more like a boat, and this is the way that you will be traveling nowadays with this new update. So if we click this one, we have to repair our engine. That is required if we're going to be able to travel across the water. Let's see if we can maybe gather a few things, and I'm actually gonna use the new travel thing. Let's see if we can repair this first. I'm gonna show you how it works, the new one. So in the old map you sort of had like levels, you went from left to right, you have different paths that you can go for. What you have now instead is that when you zoom out, you will be presented with this big map here, and you can go pretty much wherever you want as long as you have fuel. And you can see in the bottom left here, it turns orange. Orange is how much fuel you will be consuming for your travel. And you can see we can go really precisely how we want to go. The circle covers our area that we can work within when we move to that place. So that's pretty awesome. So we have some different monuments. We have some flotsam of wood, some plastic. We have some fish and some more monuments spread out. And we can look around the map here and decide kind of the way we want to go. So there's many different paths to go if you want to. And since this is so precise, we see that we have this plastic over here. We can swim and gather plastic, but now with the new system, we can actually decide to move town a little bit closer. So that way you can see that we are pretty much living on the plastic now, and that makes it super fast for our drifters to gather, for example, plastics. I can send 3 of our drifters to just go out here and grab loads of plastic, and it's gonna go really quick since we don't have to swim very far. You can see they can even throw up the plastic directly from the water, which looks pretty funny. So that's pretty damn useful. So if we want to go further later on to this place where we have some more flotsam of wood lying around, we can do so. And certain monuments, you can also use your drifter just to swim to them. So it depends on the monument, but as you can see with this one, we can either send our drifters to swim to landmark, or we can use boats. The benefit of boats is that you can load the double amount of items on a boat compared to when you're just swimming. And also if you have to travel a little bit on the water, you will be traveling a little bit faster if you go in a boat. And some of the monuments, if you are gonna help like other drifters that are stuck on monuments, then you will need to have a boat. So it's definitely something we have to get later. And also having boats will allow you to do some fishing, which is also super important, and we have to be able to get some food, you know? But let's see, we did get some plastic now. That means we should be able to do a little bit of building. Let's see how much. 80 plastic, that's a pretty good amount. So let's start with doing a walkway maybe, just so we can spread out what we want to build a little bit further away from our colony boat thingy. So let's go out maybe like that. 24 in cost should be pretty good. So we want to get some drying racks, and we have 2 different options. We can go for the standard one that can hold 6 items, or we can do this one, which is the small drying rack, and actually see that this one might be sometimes better. You see, this one costs 10 plastic, this one costs 24. This one can have the double amount, but it costs more than double to make. And I'm pretty sure they don't take longer. It should be the same time, just how many they can have. And the size of this one, you can see here. It might be that this one takes a little bit less space in the long run. It could be that. But maybe to start out, so we can save a little bit of plastic. Let's do the small ones, and we can remake them later. So So that should be nice. So let's start out with maybe 3 of these, should be pretty good. So on these, if you haven't played the game before, you can dry wood, because when you get wood here, it is going to be wet wood, and we want to dry it up so we can make like firewood with it, and ropes and such things, and also dry some fish that we can eat for some super early basic foods. So that's pretty nice. So we probably want to gather some here, but I think we can probably go even slightly closer. And some other things we should try to get pretty soon when we have some wood is to do the distillery so we can generate fresh water. Another thing that's new since last time I played as well is we go into food. We now have a seaweed growers, so grow seaweed spores to mature this. This is a way to get some pretty early food, I would say. And we may want to do some small storage jar later, but I do think we can wait with that. So this one, let's have so we can dry some wood, since we don't really have any fishing done yet. So wood in that one. And if we want to, like I said, it will cost a little bit of fuel, but we can go slightly closer to give a little bit less of a swimming time, which is going to save a lot of time in the long run. So let's get some boys out so we can gather some nice wood here. And maybe we could start to salvage this one, because this one is pretty good. This one have a 40 dry wood, and we will also be gaining 5 research points, which is super useful. And the cool thing is that we can set out to have like 2 colonists, or however how many we want to have to go there, so we can set up to have freedom. I do think we should maybe even skip doing this one, because this one we will get 40 dry wood. Meanwhile here we would have to pick up the wood, dry it in our drying racks, but getting from this one, the monument here, the long island, we will be able to have dry wood directly without even doing that work. Just gather the things and we're done, because drying this takes quite a long time. As you can see here, 250 seconds is required, but it's at least a passive way to get some. Another useful thing that can help quite a bit, if you go down here to manage the maximum output production, you can set how much you want to have. So you can have, for example, I want to always try to maintain 20 dry wood, and maybe I want to maintain, let's say, 20 fish. Might be overkill in the beginning. Let's say it's like 10 for that. So that means they should try to do this to reach this point, and if we have enough, they will be working with other things. So that way we should be able to prioritize a little bit better. Let's see if we can maybe get some beds. Beds are important for our drifters to have places to rest. So these I want to have. We could have them here maybe. We're probably going to reorganize a lot of things as we go to make it make sense later on when we have more resources. To maybe have like a place where we are crafting a lot of things. Maybe one area where people are sleeping. So when we gather this research point, we can spend them inside of here. We have 5 for the moment. With 5 we could either do some houses, which is a house that can have 2 drifters. We can do the scrapsmith, smith your metal into more useful resources like pipes and screws, and not really something we need pretty early on. Then we have the small water container, could be useful, but my favorite to go for the first 5 would be the fish kebab. Grills the fish, simply but tasty. And the good thing with this one, when you can do it, is that every fish will provide more food than it does when you dry it. So I'm gonna go for this one. This one is also really nice, a solar steel, but requires 10 points. So I'm gonna go for fish kebab, then later we're probably gonna go for solar steel, because then you will be gathering passively water, so you can spend a little bit less time on the water, which is pretty nice. Look at them build. And get some beautiful houses. And it's pretty cool now with the new map. If you activate in settings, go to settings and then go to advanced camera experimental. If you zoom down like this, rotate the camera like this, then you can actually see a lot of moments far away. So that's pretty interesting. There we go. I do think we maybe should gather a little bit more plastic before we move around. And it's an important thing now that the map works this way is to I guess be a little bit more careful where you go. Because if you are unlucky, you can run into a situation where I think you will run out of fuel pretty much. And you may end up dying because you can't move anywhere. There's nothing to gather really. But there's a new production thing as well since last time when I played oil refineries. This one refines oil from plastic waste. So if you have a lot of plastic but you don't have any fuel, this will be an alternative if you need to get some more fuel going. Oh wow, they're really holding their breath swimming out of water like that. So we have 16 food reserves and 12 waters. We might need to gather some more water. So let's look around on the map a little bit, see what we got around us. So I don't really see any nearby place with water. This place has water pretty far away. We can probably go there though. I think we should be fine going there. Because that place do hold some water, this thing. We can also gather some seaweed along the way. Could actually be worth doing. Let's do that. Let's stop around here. Let's go there. That's along the way anyway, if we're gonna go for this one. Okay, so here we have some raw seaweed and seaweed spore. And we will also be getting 5 of these research points. So let's go salvage that. Let's send all 3 of them there. So we should be able to get a little bit of food from that. The raw seaweed, nutritional value 1, which should be pretty nice. But after that, we really have to sort of go towards the water and also think about some fuel, because that's also important. I do think they're going to be able to gather this pretty quick since we are very close to it. Look at them go, picking all that delicious seaweed for us. I'm really hopeful for this game. It feels like they are going in the right direction. I feel like this was a good decision for them to remake the map because it's a lot better now, I would say. So let's make an woodworking shed. And this one we can make the firewood, and we can also make ropes, which will be very useful for crafting various things. So let's put one here. And I suppose we can also do a distillery so we can get some water done. I do feel sometimes with the game that working with the distillery could be a little bit faster, because when I tried a little bit before, it feels like the person making firewood and the person making distillery, they can keep being like between these two pretty much endlessly with 3 people and never like actually go in a positive direction with water. So I do feel like they could speed up maybe the crafting of firewood a little bit. Even the distillery can be sped up a little bit because it's kind of slow, I would say. So when we make 3 ropes, we can do the Seaweed Grower. And that's going to be interesting because I haven't really used this one. I saw it before, but I haven't really got to use it yet. So in this one, we want to make some ropes. We needed 3 of them. That's going to be good. We may as well also do a few firewood because we're going to need them later. And on this one, we can queue up a little bit of water. You can take the outer queue, and that way it will pretty much go down and use whatever is set up inside of here, what we want to maintain. So let's say we would want to have like 20 in water. Maybe even 15, not go too far in the beginning. And maybe this one go to 10 firewood. And ropes we set to 5. I'm probably not going to maintain ropes. But something like that should be pretty good. And I probably want to get some new people to move in, because then we can do more work. They're gonna eat more, but I do feel like in the long run we're actually gonna earn on at least getting a few new people. So we could do it like this, have maybe 2 swimmers go into that. And this one has a wood and research point, but that's one thing I felt with the game, within this new map here. It's kind of tricky with finding some things, like the things you want. Like I'm now looking for fuel. Of course we can use the plastic to make fuel. But also, like I said, it's not really balanced for now, since it's a very, very new feature. So we're probably gonna see some rebalancing coming out pretty soon, I suppose. But this place is gonna be really good. It has a lot of dry wood, and we're gonna need a lot more dry wood. And let's allow maybe to have, let's just go maybe for, let's just go for 1 maybe. Because now they are a lot busier. Now that we got our distiller and we also are making some firewood sometimes. At the moment we're making a little bit of firewood. But as you can see, it does take quite a long time to craft these things. I'm having the max speed now. I can see how slow the bar is moving. And when you craft that, you only get like 1 water, I think. So I do feel like it could be sped up a little bit. Like it should be too easy, but at the moment I feel like it's too slow. Not sure what you guys think. So now that we also have some rope, that means we can do mooring points. That's where we can put some boats, and I do think we want to do that, but we also need to have some metal to get the boats. But I guess we can still do some mooring points, right? Let's prepare, like do 1 at least. Or even 2, yes, we have it ready. So we can maybe have 1 for salvaging and 1 for fishing. Because we are gonna need some new food eventually. Let's see the research. We got 5 points. So if we go to the monument here and we gather those 5 points, we will be able to get that passive gain of water, which I think is gonna help a lot when we are unlocking that. So we will get the solar stilts. Imports salt water, exports some fresh water, and it just pretty much works on its own, so it's good to have, I would say, pretty many of those if you can. So now we can do the Seaweed Grower, okay. I want to definitely try that one. I want to see how good that works, but it's not really food that we're after now. Food is pretty good so far. I'm gonna up this one to have 2 drifters going to Shacktown to gather some more useful dry wood. So we're pretty low on fuel now. I wonder what we need to make this one. Okay, a little bit more dry wood. We probably should try to do this one, just so we have the alternative if everything goes the wrong direction, which it can do pretty easily if you go the wrong way with this new update. But let's look around a little bit. Where could we go? So we can't go very far at all. I do think we just have to pretty much try to gather the plastic first and use those plastic for making some new fuel for us. So we want to grow some seaweed in that one. Turns the seaweed spores into seaweed. And I'm not sure, maybe you actually have to gather the seaweed spores like we did before, because we did find some before, right? So maybe you actually have to find new over time, so if you don't find enough of that, you're not going to be able to keep growing it. Looks like we're planting some. Look at that. Very nice. Grow my delicious seaweed. Okay, so now we're making an oil refinery. This is the one where we can make oil from plastic waste. That's gonna be able to get us away from this place. And here I feel like I really feel like they should slow down, speed up how fast they make water, because you can see how fast it goes down. Even though they're working 24/7, it's still pretty much just staying the same with 3 people. So I do feel like they can definitely make this faster. 120 is a little bit insanely high, I would say. 60 seconds, like I feel like even 60 might be okay half the time to make the water, because 120 is pretty insane really. Okay, so now we have 10 research points. Let's see what it requires if we're gonna make the solar still. So we need a little bit more plastic. Awesome. Slowly generate a small amount of fresh water. So I do think this is gonna be our savior most likely. I do think so. So gather that plastic, and with that plastic we're gonna be able to get some water, but it does require quite a lot of dry wood as well. Let's see, maybe we should do some walkways. Perhaps we can have it going out here. We need to collect a little bit more plastic though. Let's maybe... Okay, they're not making any more there. Okay. Okay, there we go. So now we need to... Okay, we can... No? We need a little bit more plastic and then we can do this one. Okay, so now we should be able to do it just when they deliver that. Nice. Okay, so let's do one here. I wonder how long it's gonna take for them like to turn it into drinkable water. I do think it's gonna be longer probably than this one, because if it's shorter, then the distillery is kind of pointless, right? Okay, it is ready, and as you can see, it takes a lot longer, 600 seconds. But I do think if we make a few of these, we should be able to collect quite a lot of extra water. It's just gonna be running at the side of our normal water generation, I guess you could say. So I definitely want to have another one, but we don't really have any dry wood for now. So let's have a look on the map again, where we want to go. I'm a little bit curious what things this one have. If it's just like wood or what we will be able to get from that one. So let's go something like that. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, a lot of metal scraps. That should be pretty good. We are gonna need that, right? But I wonder how many swimmers we wanna have there. Maybe one or something like that. We're gonna try to focus on our water generation. But I do feel sort of like, maybe I'm not doing very good, but it sort of feels like it's not really balanced with this latest early access trying. But like I said, it's early access for this new alpha thing. But it definitely doesn't feel balanced to me, but I could be playing everything totally wrong as well. But I definitely feel like they should speed up how fast they work with this one, because it's very slow. Like this one barely moves, as you see, when I have the maximum speed in game. So with that metal there, we are gonna be able to make some boats. So that's what we wanna get going pretty soon, right? But I can see water is going so bad at the moment. This one is halfway now. I definitely feel like there's something that needs to be changed here a bit, because it feels like you shouldn't need more than one distillery if you have 3 people in the beginning of the game. I feel like that is a little bit maybe too hardcore if you should require to have like 2 distilleries in the beginning. Because if one is going to be making firewood all the time and 2 is going to be making water, then you're not going to be able to do anything else, right? So maybe the best thing in the game is to get some new people early on, but you can't really get them early on until you have a boat. Because you do have to have the salvage boat to be able to go to the islands and scavenge them and save some people. And we might be getting enough stuff. We're gonna be low on the wood though. But the good thing with this map is if we go somewhere else, we can always go back and gather the things that we couldn't get the last time. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, our stockpile is full. Let's see. We can expand it a little bit at least. So now we have quite a lot of the biggest storage. As you can see here, we can have 160 items. So that's a lot nicer improvement. But if you are able to go to, where do we have it? This one. We are pretty close actually. Maybe we should just go there. Let's see, how much plastic did we have now? Yeah, we should be able to make some more fuel after. But we could definitely use some metal. But we can also, like I said, we can always go back to gather metal later. Well, maybe we should get a boat first. It would be nice to get a boat. What more do we need? We need some wood for that also. So maybe if we start to go... Let's go here. We're gonna move. And we will come back for you, Mr. Metal. So now we're pretty much out of fuel, but on this one, 25 water, that's gonna be so helpful to get. Give us a little bit more time to survive. And we're also going to be able to gather some more wood out here. With that wood, we're going to dry it. And then we're going to be able to make our salvage boat so we can go faster on the ocean. And gather more things faster. And also save people. Because I do feel like we are going to have a pretty big improvement with having some more drifters with us. There is even some seagulls that you can get that works for you. So what I want to do then is to queue up to make some oil. So let's start with doing like 2 or maybe 3 of them. 3 should be pretty good. That should allow us to go a little bit of a distance at least. And as you can see for the seaweed, that's also a very, very slow growing thing. 600 seconds. Oh, it looks like this one actually produces some water. I hope it didn't cancel because we moved our place. I hope there's not a bug like that. But I think this water sitting here is some water we actually got from it. So it looks like we gather all the water. That's pretty nice. 5 research points. Remove salts from seawater, generate fresh water in large amounts. Maybe this one is something we should try to get, but if we're gonna do that one, we'll also need to have the scrapsmith where we can make some screws and pipes, because that's required if we're gonna be able to build it. So let's unlock the scrapsmith and we can maybe start working with that. Not so far distance future, hopefully. But first we gotta survive, so we will be able to thrive later, right? But we do have some fuel now, that's good to see. But we should probably start to do a little bit more firewood. So let's have a look on map soon. Okay, we can make... No. Okay. Let me cancel those, just so we are able to make the boat here, because it's going to be super useful. Now we can queue up some more dry wood to make firewood. Nice, now we get a boat. So the boat can be used to gather things a little bit faster, which is pretty awesome. And if you want to have people that are prioritizing things, that's something you can do as well. So you can set up, for example, you want to salvage stuff around boys, for example. And you can have someone that has a high priority for that. So let's have like kelp, swanstrom, and going for gathering that. And guys, if you want to name some people in the game, we have 3 people: Sammy, Cicely, and Kelp that can be named. I think it's 2 guys. Hello. Or maybe not. It's 1 guy and 2 girls actually. So do let me know if you guys have name requests for them. But guys, this is gonna be it for today with Flotsam. I hope you guys enjoyed. Do let me know if you want me to keep playing this with the new alpha version that has been updated with these new things. So thanks for watching today's episode, guys. I hope you had a good time, and see you guys pretty soon again, everybody.